Today is chest day. We, like the usual, we work on upper chest mainly, and then usually towards our flies, it's a little bit more on the bottom portion of our chest. But usually, when it comes to our presses, we are sticking it to any type of incline work. Honestly, if you do incline work, it's really all you need, to be honest. I always tell everyone you really don't need a lot of lower chest work. That's usually the one that gets developed the easiest. It's usually the upper chest that takes a little bit. So I usually recommend that as well. And then also you also target your overall chest throughout a lot of these movements when you're also doing like even upper chest movements. Believe it or not, I know sometimes there's like certain angles and stuff. While that is a thing. But you are also working your overall chest throughout some of these movements. Just like when you're doing like lateral raises, you're not just working specifically on just your lateral, on your side delt, for example. You're also kind of working a little bit of your front delt and things like that. They also activate in the process. But the point of having that mind muscle connection is where you can kind of isolate that. And then that's why it's also important to not ego lift. So that way you're targeting the right muscle that you're trying to build, and you're not using, let's say, your trap during the process or your front delt, for example, and that you're really, really focusing on using as much of your side delts as possible. And we're finding a little bit of traffic trying to get through the city. But what do I expect? Around this time is usually when it gets pretty packed. We're going to the gym right now around maybe 3:45 is when we're gonna get there. We already took the pre, so it gives us around maybe like 20 minutes for it to start kicking in. Hopefully, if we get lucky, we get access to that dumbbell rack with uh, with the higher weights and the bench that's close to that. Because if we don't, then we're gonna have to carry whatever weight to whatever bench we end up getting. So hopefully we get the one all the way at the end where all the heavy weights are. And then I'm thinking we're gonna end up sticking to 7 to 8 sets. That's usually what we've been sticking to for most body parts or body groups, muscle groups, I guess you would call it. Because honestly, that's what's been working for us, and that's what, because of the intensity, how much we go to failure and everything. I don't think we need any more volume than what we already been getting. So we've been kind of sticking to that, and I'm thinking we're gonna continue to stick to that because it has been working up pretty great. I have been seeing some great progress. I'm thinking for this upcoming bulk or this bulk that we already started, we're gonna be bulking for quite some time. I'm thinking at least a solid maybe 6 months to 7 8 months. We'll see. We'll see. But it's gonna be a minute for sure. We're gonna try to stay as lean as we can as well, just so we don't get too crazy during the bulk. We also want to make sure that we're not going overboard. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Let's just try to stay as lean as possible, and just yeah, just try to bulk little by little. So we've been also sticking to a little bit of cardio as well. So it'll help us eat a little bit more, but also it'll help us during our lifts as well. Because if our cardiovascular is good, then I won't be stopping my set too early because I can't breathe. It'll be because of muscle fatigue. So that's just something to keep in mind. Do not skip out on your cardio. It's really important. I know a lot of there's so many little things that kind of come into play, like sleep, eating, and things like that. So it's really important that all those like different little elements to that kind of come into play all at once, so that way you can get the best results. Because if, let's say, for example, you're missing one really big key element, like let's say everything's good, but then your sleep is awful. You're only getting 3 maybe 5 hours of sleep every night. That's not enough for your body to recover, for example. So you're gonna you're gonna see some so results just because of that. Your body's not recovering enough, and so that's just something to keep in mind. You want to make sure that although there are certain although there's so many different things that kind of come into play, that you're really keeping in mind the things that really matter. Like, for example, I would say that the biggest things would be sleep, your diet, and consistency. I would say those big three things are the most important thing that you should learn when it comes to bodybuilding, because those things are the things that you need. Now, some people might say, okay, what about supplements, right? Now, supplements are not something that's necessary. I would just call it almost like a tool, similar to what I use when it comes to like those elbow sleeves or things like that. Now, the only thing that I would say that would benefit you the most would be creatine, because it helps you outside of just, let's say, weightlifting and stuff. I would also recommend it for folks that aren't even weightlifting as well, to also take creatine every day. But with creatine, you're basically getting some extra gains for free. I keep saying for free, and I because it's kind of that way. I mean, obviously you're not going to be getting like a crazy amount. Some people getting a little bit more, some people getting a little bit less. It just depends. But for the most part, you get a little bit extra gains with it as well, a little bit more endurance. And so you want to for sure get creatine. I think creatine is one of those supplements that you for sure want to start taking. But other than that, supplements aren't really necessary. For example, people really like to emphasize protein. If you're getting your protein from just meals, from meat itself, you don't need to like add an extra like scoop of protein at the end of your day. Like, that's not needed. You're literally just wasting money. So you want to make sure that you're tracking, because if you're not tracking, you could be going overboard on protein, and you're kind of just wasting money. Honestly, you're kind of just going maybe a little bit overboard on the bulk. So you'll be surprised what you can tell from your diet based on how you track it. Now, everyone is a little bit different. Obviously, some people like a little bit more fat, some people like a little bit more carbs. Everyone's diet's going to be a little bit different. I think it's important to kind of really take a look at what your daily meals kind of look like, and then just see where you can play around with. So that way you can switch things around if you want to, let's say, lose weight, or you want to bulk up and stuff. What do I need to do? Eat more, or maybe eat the same things but a little bit less of it, whatever you need to do, and then go from there. And then just sticking to it. You don't want to stick to it for 5 days out of the week, and then on the weekends you're going crazy on like In and Out or McDonald's or something like that. So you just want to make sure that you're not going overboard, and that you're not going too crazy on those days where you're not counting, or if you decide to have like any cheat meals or anything like that, that you're not going too crazy, because it can really put you overboard. If, let's say, for example, you have like a set standard of calories. If, let's say, it's 2200, right, and you have to eat 2200 every single day, but then let's say it adds up to whatever at the end of the week, right? If at the end of the week, let's say Saturday or Sunday, you're just going super super crazy, that's going to add up to your total at the end of the week. So it's, those days, those 5 days out of the week that you really spent kind of eating cleaner, can go to waste if you kind of go crazy on the weekends. And so that's why I mentioned that it's really important to also, when it comes to cheat meals in general, I wouldn't do like a cheat meal where it's like you're eating crazy to the point where you're just gonna throw up, right? Like, you want to have like a cheat meal. Let's say you treat yourself to a burger and fries, right? Something that's not gonna be too crazy. Now, if you start going with like, all right, let me get those burger and fries, but then let me also get donuts. Let me also get an ice cream with that. Let me get dessert right after that. So, little things like that. So you want to also kind of have those cheat meals, but at the same time, be conscious of what you're also adding to it, because yes, it can be a cheat meal. You can kind of classify it as a cheat meal. And I'm not saying don't have a cheat meal, but just be a little bit more cautious, because it's really easy to derail. And then next thing you know, you're like, it's part of the cheat meal. I just ate Korean barbecue, for example. I can have this dessert that Jasmine brought me, and so like I'm just kind of mentioning it based on just kind of like my personal thing, where sometimes I can kind of derail a little bit, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this cheat meal, but then I justify having like a donut or a piece of whatever that I wasn't taking into account, because I classified as part of the cheat meal. And that's just something to keep in mind. And that's just something that, it kind of comes with being food conscious, and and how you want to kind of play with your macros, and how you want to do that as well. Because some people, what they do is they keep their calories a little bit lower, so that way on the weekends they can go a little bit crazier. But that's really personal preference. We have around 1,000 calories to play with once we get home. We ended up picking some stuff up from Costco today, which is nice. We got some Oikos. We got some Diet Cokes, man. We've been going through those Diet Cokes pretty fast. I usually have like five, usually when I'm bulking, and then yeah, like around five a day when I'm bulking, and then when I'm cutting, man, I'm having like probably 10, 12, because I just get so hungry. Some people don't want to move to the light. It's crazy. They must be on their phone or something. Sometimes you gotta have to let them know. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch over now to the next clip and see what we end up getting. Hopefully we get that bench. For our first working out thing, we're gonna do 80. Yeah, I think that should be pretty good. We're gonna end up probably moving down afterwards because we haven't done 80 since we were bulking. Maybe for the first 2 weeks, I was kind of doing it for maybe 3 to 5 reps, and then it kind of slowly started going down. So then we started just sticking to 75, and then we were like at 70. But we're gonna try to get some strength back. We're gonna try to hit it for at least a solid. I'm hoping five, maybe six. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to use the wraps. Let's see if I can even fucking set it up. Sometimes I can't, and I just have to take them off. We'll see. I'll either show you guys me putting them on, or I'll just skip over. We'll see. It's also a lot easier when I have someone else here with me to put these bad boys on, because sometimes it's a hassle. And it takes a minute. But let's see how this one goes. Hopefully we don't have to drop too much after this. We'll see. Where's my put a good song too? Let's try to put this on. I'm gonna try not to put on too tight so that way I can actually set up, because when it's too tight I can't even bend, which kind of sucks. All right, let's see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. So at least now we know for next time. Maybe we're at 4 with these things. For sure. We'll drop on this next one. Try to hit it for I think 75 and try to hit it for anywhere from, I don't know, 7 to 8. But maybe what I'll do is do a bit of a pause set. I think I'm gonna take a quick 10, 15, and then try to hit it for hopefully 2 more. I probably won't use the wraps this time. It's gonna take too long. But let me just catch my breath and then we'll get started. Those these things didn't feel too bad. It's but you kind of have to get used to them though. All right, let's do it. Oh my god. That's it. Okay, that was good, man. That felt heavy, but let's go ahead and let's move down to 75 and try to hit that for. I'm hoping a solid 7 to 10. We'll see. We'll see. But I think I'm gonna switch over to the bench next to me to get a better angle. Let's go ahead and let's do our second one. I think we're gonna use the rest for the 75, and then on the last one we won't, just to get a little bit more practice with them. I feel like I can use it just because it still feels a little bit wonky every time I put them on. Just gives a little bit more practice, and hopefully it helps us for our plateau because we've been stuck at like, I think the highest we've gone to is 85 for 5, and that was like peak bulk around. I think I was like 176, 180 maybe. I'll have to check. I'll have to remember. But I was around there, and then I dropped down quite a bit. Let me take off my shoe real quick. But let's do the second set. I think we're gonna end up doing 75. We're gonna try with the wraps, and then for the last one, we probably won't use these. It's gonna take too long. Let's see how this goes. I also wonder if this is a left and a right. I wish a lot of these successors had whether it's a left or right, it would be easier. That way I don't have to kind of guess a little bit. I think the most ideal thing is for me to actually put on the mic so you guys can hear me. But I was saying it would be ideal if these things had a left or a right, because sometimes I feel like I put them on wrong, and it's just easier that way. Especially for my grips. I feel like those Versa grips, they should for sure have a left or right, to be honest, but it is what it is. All right, let's put this on. Maybe next time I'll invest in those ones that are just kind of like the knee sleeves. Probably be easier, but these should be good. Gotta give it a good wrap. Even though I'm by myself. Let's see how this goes. Let's hope I don't tear anything. We're gonna do 75, and I think that should be pretty good. We're gonna try to hit it for, I think, as many as we can. Let's put on some music. All right, that's it. There's that. I feel like for these, you almost have to just use it for your top side because, man, if you try using it a second time, your hands are already super dead, super fast. Let's hit it. Okay. I think today's one of those days, man. That all right. I really tired myself out with those 80s because, man, those 75s felt just as hard. I think I'm gonna try to stick to 75 after this next one, but I'll try to use it without the wraps because them things were killing me. I already have a little bit of a burn, kind of like a rug burn. So, but we're gonna hit this bad boy for one more at least. Hopefully, we get access to a cable machine after this. Oh my god, the bounciness also at the bottom right here. It feels different, so it kind of throws me off just a tiny bit. I'm not used to it. That's why I feel like I got to get a little bit more practice, or at least try it out with the Smith machine because it's for sure tricky with these dumbbells, mostly when you're not used to it. Man, my my chest is so cooked already. But I'm gonna take a quick 10 seconds, and I'm gonna hit it for 70. Maybe hit it for three to four more. Should be pretty good. And honestly, that's still gonna be pretty hard because that 75 felt just like that 80. To be honest, if we don't get access to any of the presses, what I think I'll do is not presses, sorry, a cable machine for the flies. What I'll do is some dips. I think that'll be pretty good. Good little substitute. Get a really, really, really deep stretch. All right, let's do this next one. Let's uh let's try to get 3 to 4. All right. I can already tell that today's chest day is gonna kick our ass because these first 3 sets were super super painful honestly, and it sucked. But we tried as hard as we can. I think we're gonna move over to some press now. We either do the hammer strength or one of the fitness over there. Or I'm thinking if we get access to the cables, hopefully we can do those. Let's go see what we get. All right, let's go ahead and let's do our second exercise. We're gonna move over to these hammer strength chest press just because the other one was taken on the other side that we kind of like, and then the cables were also taken, or the ones that have 2 stacks, so we can do some type of fly. So I think worst case scenario, we don't get access to those. We'll end up doing honestly, some dips will be pretty good. I think that'll be fine. I honestly I can barely get like 10 with my body weight, so I think I won't add any weight just yet until I get pretty strong with them. But we got to kind of practice, just because we're not doing them every time we do chest. So it can look rough around the edges here and there when we're doing them. But we're gonna try them out today with these right here, and hopefully our wrist doesn't hurt when we're doing dips. Because sometimes it be hurting a little bit, and it kind of sucks. All right, let's do this next one. Oh yeah, and before I forget, we also are adding this little section here to give us a little bit more range. So we're just gonna put it behind our back. It's gonna give us a deeper stretch when we go back. It's been fire. It's been giving me a crazy pump. So if you ever have any these types of attachments around your gym, grab them bad boys and add them to some isolation machines where you can add them to, and it'll increase the range of motion, giving you more gains, which is good. All right, let's look. Yeah, that's if I can set it up. Oh my god. All right, let's drop to that. Let's try to hit this for at least 3 more. Nice. That's pretty good. Man. Yeah. Today is one of those damn days, man. Hopefully next chest day it's not that bad. Uh, Something I've been noticing is that my eye gets really dry and then it almost bends in kind of weird. Okay, 10 more seconds and let's finish this up, man. Yes. Ah. Come on. Yeah. That was good. Let's let's move over to the next one. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some dips now. I was thinking about doing the pec deck, but the pec deck was taken on the other side. And then some folks are using the cable machine. So we're probably gonna sit here for 3 sets. 3 sets should be pretty good. And then move over to some triceps. Our chest is already pretty cooked, honestly. Starting from like even the first set. So we're gonna just try to go as hard as we can. We're gonna try out these today, just to see if we can stop a little bit of the wrist pain that I sometimes get. That was harder than I thought, but I look pretty. I'm a, I'm a pause that and maybe go straight into like three more because I want to get a little bit more volume in. Just because on the last few sets, I think I was getting like around on average maybe 5 to 6. I just want to get a little bit more. So we're gonna pause, maybe hit it for three, and then I think on the second one do the same thing. I think we're just gonna do two, and that should be pretty good. All right, do it. That was pretty good. Let's do one more just like that. Okay. I think uh I think we are ready for this the second one. I don't think the I don't think the cables are ready. Oh, they're actually taken. So I think we're gonna end up just we'll see what we grab right now. Grab whatever cable and we'll do some I think we're gonna probably end up doing some push down. Either we do some single arm push down or we like to sometimes do the bar, whichever bar we end up grabbing. And that should be pretty good. We still gotta do we still gotta do hamstrings today. I always forget. And then we're gonna do maybe like 10, 15 minutes of cardio. I've been kind of leaning towards maybe 10 to 12 minutes on the Stairmaster. It has been pretty good for me. So maybe we'll do that again. All right, let's do this one. Say my back. This precious on me. I'm gonna kind of quick 10 and then do it because, man. All right, that was good. Let's do it. All right. That's pretty good. Let's move on to some triceps now. Okay. This was the machine that I was talking about. That's pretty good. So what you basically do is I just kind of grab onto this. It gives you like the craziest stretch up here, like the super crazy tension. And then you just push it down like to this one, single arm. You're gonna feel a crazy pump and a crazy stretch. It's fire. Let me move this up kind of bit, see how this feels like this. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and start off with our left and then move on to our right after that. And move this a little bit more back. There we go. Let's try forward. We're gonna kind of use this one as a primer and then move on to something heavy afterwards, maybe like a push down. All right, let's see how we go. You got fun on that. The fun on this side. I'm gonna drop set it. Maybe pause it. One, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. All right, 2, 1. Oh my God, that was pretty good. Let's do another one. Let's go ahead and do our next one. We are going to do 35. So we're doing 40 before then. We did, I think, 5, and that was already pretty heavy. I think 35 will be pretty good. We're going to start off with our left and then just match our right with our left. And if we end up getting too little, we'll end up drop setting it or positing it. We'll see which one. Come on. Nice. Okay, that was a pretty good primer. We already have a crazy pump. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one. Perfect. All right, let's do our first set. We're gonna end up doing probably 3 sets of push downs, and then we're gonna stick to the same one and do some type of overhead. I think we'll maybe do some single arm. It'll be pretty good. Let's see how this feels. We're gonna try 59.5 this time. It's a little bit higher than last time. Let's see how this one goes. Let's move down a little bit. Ah. Oh my God. That was a tough one, honestly, for sure. On this next one, I think I'm gonna do 55. Almost. So, what I ended up doing here was I kind of use this wall here to my advantage so I can get a little bit more stabilization. So what I do is I just push my feet against this. I get a really crazy stretch, and I just push all the way down. And I basically eliminate everything else but my tricep. So it makes it a lot harder, and it feels pretty good. So we're gonna do one more like that, and then I think we're gonna finish off with 2 sets of overhead. I think that'll be pretty good. Okay, so we started off with 59.5, and that felt hella heavy. So we're gonna end up doing we ended up moving to the second set. I think we did 55, and then we moved down to 52. On this last one, we're gonna do 50, just because the last one felt pretty heavy. I want to make sure we're getting at least a solid 7 to 8 straight. So let's do it. All right. We still want to stick to that same set. I mean that same weight, but we're gonna do a pause set because we didn't get enough. And today's that kind of a pattern, man. We didn't get enough for almost every set, but I have those days, man. Hopefully, once we get a little bit better sleep today, we'll feel better tomorrow for our back and shoulder day. But in the meantime, let's just go hard. All right, let's do 3 more. Okay. Okay. For our last one, we're gonna do is we're gonna do some overhead. We're gonna go a little bit heavier than we usually do. Let's hope I don't make a mistake by doing that because this whole day it's been a little bit crazy. But we're gonna use these. These usually give us a bunch of support, honestly, for our wrists, so we can stay pretty stabilized. So we're gonna probably do that. We're gonna stick to this one. Hit it for 2 sets. Try to emphasize a little bit more on our left hand, so that way it can put a little bit more work in than our right, so it can catch up, and then move on to hamstrings after that. Let's see how that goes. Just drops right there. One more. Okay. Let's stay for 3 more. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's move on to some answer work now. I probably won't be recording it since the video is already pretty long. I don't want to make them any longer. I was just looking at the video from yesterday. That bad boy was like an hour and hour and like 20 minutes. So make this one a little bit shorter for you guys. But what I will record is probably the RDLs. That's what I'm going to record. Let's finish up today. We're gonna do and there's a little space on the other side of the gym. I think we're gonna do our pump check over there. Now we'll go downstairs. You see the usual place we usually do it. But we're gonna do some RDLs. Gonna take some 90s for a little stroll. Probably get anywhere from 7 to 8 hopefully. Yeah, let's see how it goes. We're not gonna take off our shoes for this one just because it's really hard to take these ones off. Because they're ones, they're high top, so it's just way harder and I'm hella lazy to do all that. Or use our trusty bursty grips. Sounds good. Let's do one more just like that. Let's do our last one. I think we're gonna stay to 90s. Hit anywhere from 7 to 8, hopefully. Okay. Okay. I didn't lock him properly, so he was slipping toward the end. Oh my god. But we got 6, which is around the range that we like. We got 10 on the first one, 6 on the last one. I already see a spot where we can go pose on, so let's go do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what kind of damage we did today. All right, let's get a back beat. All right. Okay. We got 10 minutes of cardio. We gotta go home. Thankfully, we don't want to stop by that store today, which is nice because yesterday we had to stop by Safeway. It was such a drag because we got caught by the rain, so we were running away from the rain while we were picking up our stuff. So that was just a little bit unfortunate. I need to uh, I need to prepare a little bit better, honestly, when it comes to the rain because I've been caught in it too often. But today was a really, really good chest day. Even though we didn't get to do we didn't really get to do our flies to the press that we usually like to do, but we may do with the dips that we did, and then the what did we do, the press. So that wasn't too bad. Hopefully tomorrow we get access to the assisted pull-ups, and that should be pretty good. That's probably what we're gonna be sticking to, and then kind of keep it the same way. But let's go home. We're gonna do 10-15 minutes of cardio before we go home. I am thinking we're gonna do some walking. I'm already looking at the stairs and they're taken, so we'll do some walking. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.